Hello everyone, I'm not quite sure what the weather is like at home, but myself and Andy are basking in the sunshine here at Craven Cottage, a ground that holds fond memories for Giovanni Trapattoni. It was here 1 year ago to the day that he achieved his first win as Republic of Ireland manager when that Robbie Keane goal beat Colombia. Might be a lucky omen for tonight, Andy, but I'll ask you about the team first that goes out tonight. The newcomers in a moment, but let's start with the goalkeeping situation. Shay Given starts. Are you surprised with that, given there has been an injury and the proximity to the Bulgarian game? And secondly, of course, the fallout from it with Dean Kiely leaving.
Well, it's a risk, that's for sure, it's a risk. I'm sure Trapattoni's conscious of trying to get a decent start in the game. I'm sure he'll give the young man some experience at some point. He'll get him on, I feel sure of that. But it's an awkward scenario to have, let's be fair, going before the Bulgaria game. It's not ideal, far from it. I think that the manager would like to just see the team bed in a little bit. We have got some new guys, we know they're playing. It's always nice to have your experienced goalkeeper in, but I don't want to see Shay come to any harm whatsoever, because we are very thin now on the ground in terms of goalkeeping experience, and it's vitally important that he is fit and well for that Bulgaria game. So I'm sure the manager will play it very sensibly, very cautiously, but probably start him for a bit.
The manager does have this preference, we know, for 4-4-2 for two strikers. With Kevin Doyle more or less out of the Bulgaria game now, how significant that Caleb Folan, who was the man in the running to replace him, isn't available?
Well, yeah, it's... that's another disappointment. Unfortunately, look, this time of the year, injuries is something that you've just got to try and get round and just get and just cope with. Whilst I hate seeing friendlies used. Used in a manner as if the result doesn't matter, Des. I think every game we play matters. I think all these friendly matches matter. I think the result is vital. The result breeds, winning breeds confidence, and confidence in players is everything. Confidence then gives young guys the chance to go and express themselves. So I think it is important we win the match tonight. If we have got guys with a problem, it's unwise, it's stupid to play them. Others will come in and others are given an opportunity to grab a shirt. It's as simple as that.
Well, speaking of that, which of the newcomers, and there are 5 making debuts tonight, are you looking forward to seeing? Can any of them play their way into the side? Do you think there are places up for grabs for the Bulgaria game?
I think there are places up for grabs. I'm looking forward to seeing Leon Best play, because we don't score enough goals. We can create chances. We've had a history of never quite scoring enough goals. We always make every weather a qualification. If we can find someone that can give us something, a little different dynamic, great, I welcome it. I think that guys like him, I'm looking for him tonight to have a positive performance. Liam Lawrence has got an eye for a goal. He can deliver a decent ball. We've had problems there down the right-hand side. So, look, I think there are opportunities for some of these guys, and let's hope they grab it.
The opposition, Nigeria, it's a very, very young and inexperienced side tonight. A lot of the big names missing due to the English FA Cup final, the Russian Cup final, and leagues to be finished in Germany and Spain. You'd imagine they'd be taking it seriously. The manager believes that it's all about the youngsters tonight, but there are a lot of big names missing there. Yeah,
again, that can sometimes work for you if the younger, inexperienced guys struggle. We also know that sometimes, again, like some of our boys, some of these young Nigerian lads will be eager to impress. And it's a great opportunity for them. So, games at this stage of the season are difficult. We've a big focus in a week's time that we have to be very careful and mindful of. I just hope tonight the game's played with a good tempo, a good attitude, and I'd love Trapattoni to stress to the players tonight, the result is important, Des. It's important we keep winning and keep some momentum going. OK, thanks for now, Andy. Much more from us as we build up to an 8 o'clock kick-off here at Craven Cottage. But for now, back to you in Dublin. Yes, hello, Paul. Good evening, everyone from Turin for the first of 3 Italy-England clashes in the Champions League over the next 2 nights. Let's start with the team news. It's very interesting indeed. For Chelsea, 2 changes from the weekend. Kalou and Malouda out, but Anelka and Essien in. For Juventus, Claudio Ranieri lost Momo Sissoko to a fractured foot 6 minutes from the end of the Turin derby after he had just come on at the weekend. So he's on the sidelines, as is Mauro Camoranesi, as is centre-half Nicola Legortaglier. So none of them have made it. But the most intriguing thing, Lou, from the Juventus lineup, it's a very attacking-looking one, with Iaquinta, Del Piero and Trezeguet all in from the start.
Well, they need a goal there, so I'm not surprised at the manager's view on the game. He's going for that attacking lineup. He's going to test the Chelsea defence tonight. They need a goal to get back into the game, then they need another goal to go on and win the tie. So that doesn't surprise me. What does is the Chelsea lineup up front, 2 strikers. Not often you see a British side who have got 1 goal advantage away from home going with 2 strikers. Finish the hitting, he's going with them, he'll hope it pays off.
Not the Stadio delle Alpi, of course, for Juventus these days, but the Stadio Olimpico here. Capacity of just 27,400, but those who are in tonight will be very close to the pitch, and of course allied to a very positive showing from Juventus in the first leg in London. You were there, you were impressed with them. Could be a tough night for Chelsea.
Well, it could be a tough night, especially in this stadium. I mean, we're an hour from kick-off days, and already the atmosphere is absolutely brilliant. They'll be right behind their team. Italian teams this week, Des, need a big scalp. They need an English scalp to prove that Italian football is not on its way down, it's on its way up. So whether it's here tonight or whether it's in the other games, the Italians do need to beat one of the British sides.
And it's interesting you mentioned that, because so much hype surrounding all the Premier League sides in Europe these days. But something we've picked up on here in Turin over the last 2 days is Juventus saying, we are Juventus, we're a big European club, no inferiority complex, we're going to go out and show what we can do tonight.
Well, Juventus are a big European club, same as, you know, Milan and the other Italian teams are in it, Roma as well. They'll all say the same thing. But when you don't progress in Europe, when you don't get to the final, you start to lose that fact. I mean, over the years they have been strong, there have been teams that have got close to a final, but it's up to one of the Italian teams this week to get closer to that final in Rome. Whether it's tonight, whether it's this team here tonight, or whether it's tomorrow night, we'll need to wait and see.
Well, Turin, of course, fresh from hosting the European Indoors and Athletics over the weekend, but now the focus very firmly back on football, and which of Juventus or Chelsea will make the last 8 of the Champions League. We'll find out over the next few hours. It could be an intriguing and possibly long night. Yes, thanks indeed, Paul. It's developing into a bit of a murky afternoon here, though you wouldn't imagine that would affect the attendance, given it's the visit of the champions. On paper, really only one winner, Manchester United with their steely stare on that Premier League title. Reading going the wrong way and fast. Tony, I guess, though, with the Premier League, you can never be 100% certain or sure, as we saw when Manchester United went to West Ham.
Well, I think we have to remember at the West Ham game that Ronaldo had the opportunity of making it 2-0. Missed a penalty. They were comfortable in that particular game. Yes, West Ham got back in it. I think it's a different problem. I think Reading are there for the taking. What I saw last week at Villa, I think that Reading defensively and lost players to the African nations is going to take its toll. OK, well, Steve Coppell welcomes back several of his big guns today. Amongst those returning, Kevin Doyle and Stephen Hunt. Dave Kitson passed a fitness test at 1 o'clock. For Manchester United, 3 changes from the 6-0 rout of Newcastle. O'Shea, Anderson and Giggs replaced by Brown, Hargreaves and Park. Well, yeah, well, you're looking at Reading. Quite surprisingly, Stevie Coppell's going to go for a very offensive team. Probably go with Doyle on the right, Kitson and Leiter down the middle, Stephen Hunt middle of midfield. So they've got a lot of potential to score goals, but it does leave them vulnerable. And with, like you're saying, with Park coming in the team for Giggs, a flair player, a lot of onus is always on Ronaldo. I think it's a day for Rooney. I haven't seen the real Rooney for a number of weeks, so looking forward to seeing him perform to the top level we saw in the early part of the season. And just on Reading, they've lost their last 3 in a row in the league. They're out of the FA Cup during the week. They're also out of the League Cup, of course. It's a difficult few months lying ahead now for Steve Coppell. Well, Steve Coppell's done such a fantastic job here. Last season, everything was on the up. There's been signs this year that it's not the same, that they just lost that little bit of edge. The teams that are always around the bottom, mid-table, must have that edge to keep them in above relegation. I think this is going to be a very difficult afternoon for him and onwards until the end of the season, because Reading can't lose that ability to mix it with teams and have that bit of bite, and they've been very successful at home. 3 defeats on the run. I think he would love to just get a draw out of this game. Would be a big plus for him. Well, as the rain continues to come down, all the signs really point to Manchester United, but worth bearing in mind that Reading, with 10 men, held Manchester United on the opening day at Old Trafford, so I wonder have they a surprise in store today. Thanks, Paul. And Rangers, of course, above any Scottish side, will have fond memories of the new camp here. It was here 35 years ago that they won the European Cup Winners' Cup. In the 80s, Dundee United had a victory here in the UEFA Cup, and in the last 4 seasons, Celtic, of course, have twice drawn here. But Brian, of course, from a Rangers point of view, for the players coming here and experiencing something like this for the first time, those mean nothing.
Well, I think it's a fantastic record by Scottish teams in this particular ground. It's a fantastic stadium. But I think what we have to remember is this current Barcelona team are probably one of the best club sides in the world at this moment in time, and it's going to be a tall order for them this evening. Well, team news, Gianluca Zambrotta's ankle injury keeps him out, so Puyol at right back, Marquez and Milito in the middle, and the big 3, of course, Messi, Henry and Ronaldinho all start. 2 changes for Rangers from the 0-0 at Ibrox. Kevin Thompson is suspended, Nacho Novo on the bench with Beasley and Mdani coming in, and Kuzan again, the lone striker up front. Yeah, I think from Barcelona's point of view, obviously the strikers were a little bit hit and miss a couple of weeks back, and I think a lot's been said, and I think the strikers tonight for Barcelona will want to prove a point. From Rangers' point of view, yes, I can see the system has to be that way. Kuzan will run his socks off, and perhaps at some stage Darshville will come on and just rest his legs for him. It's really going to be a hard night's work, as I've said, for the Rangers players. From the 0-0, we now have a new footballing phrase. Lionel Messi, of course, coining anti-football, and there's a feeling amongst the Barcelona supporters that because of the frustration on that night, that Rangers might pay for it tonight. Yeah, but I think Frank Rijkaard has gone out of his way to sort of calm that down. What he said is, you know, the player is really upset and was disappointed at perhaps his own performance more than anything else. But I think it's sort of fueled a little bit of something in a game like this. The Rangers fans are here in their thousands. I think the game doesn't really need any more fueling. It's going to be a fantastic occasion.
You spoke to Walter Smith today. What can we expect from Rangers?
I did had a good chat to Walter and Ali earlier today, and he just said to me a lot more of the same. So they played pretty sort of defensively and very solid in the first game, and I'm sure he means it's going to be exactly the same this evening. They'll keep it as tight as they can, and hopefully as the game goes on we'll try and then come into it a little bit with a few counter-attacks.
Well, since the inaugural Champions League season in 92-93, Barcelona have played 62 games at the Nou Camp here. They've only lost 7 times. So I wonder, Paul, what odds a Rangers result tonight?